everyone. Today we're on day 4 of our DIY week, and today we are going to be making metallic inks a little bit differently than we did before. And as a really big bonus, and this is a really fun part, we're going to be making a DIY mulberry paper. Mulberry paper, if you're not familiar with it, is a really textural paper that usually has something pressed in between it. This is mulberry paper that a really nice lady sent me. The ribbon lady that I bought all the ribbon from sent me this, and it's really cool. You can kind of see that some texture in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's usually things pressed between the papers. It's hard to cut. I might have to go to my Demon Stick, the X-Acto knife, to do it, but that's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do, though, is I'm going to show you how you get your mica powder. You go to the Dollar Tree and you buy these bottles, LA Color. It's really important that you get those. Then you take your pokey tool, and I've already done this because in the interest of me doing this on video, well, that's gold, sorry. In the interest of me doing it on video, I didn't want to have a mishap where I jab myself to death and have you guys have to call 911. I decided I would just show you how to do it. Now normally, this is my white mica powder that I use, and I don't know if you can see how much is in there. I kind of want to show you this because I want you to see how much is in these bottles. This recipe is from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. You see how much is in there? I want you to see how much is in after I do this. So all you do is you stick your pokey up under the lip, and you just kind of dig it out. Oh, that's funny. He already dug it out, and now I can't dig it out. Stupid! Oh, my word. Crazy woman. Oh, my word. You have to wonder at my ineptitude sometimes. I know you're thinking, how does she do these things? She already said, oh, I picked it out with my fingernail because that's how really great my pokey tool is working today. Okay, then you want to tap that lid inside because there's a lot of mica powder stuck to it, and also now my thing. So okay, now this is how much you had before, and then you want to tap the top of it really well. And I don't know if you can see how much is in there now, but that is a lot of mica powder that you get for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And then you can take the top off too. If you want to, you can take the little brush out and use it for something else, because the little brush is kind of nice. Okay, I can even get the little brush out. There it is. And wiggle it around, and you'll get more mica powder. I don't know if you can see that, but as I wiggle it around, and if you wipe out the inside, you get even more. Hold on, I'm going to wipe it out so you can see. Can you see how much more you got out of there? I mean, it's not tons you get each time, but ooh, some just went into like a little cloud, a little mica cloud. That's how you do it. Then I just recycle this container because my recycling takes up to a number 6, so I recycle all that. So now we have our mica powder. Oh, I want to show you another DIY. I've been seeing these towels that people are using for cleaning their stamps, and I thought we would try these out. They're a microfiber auto cleaning towel. You get 2 of them at the Dollar Tree for $1, and today we're going to clean our stamps with this, and I'll tell you if it works or not, but I figured you'd want to know, you know, curious people, no, what is that? I don't know, inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, I figured you'd want to know if it works or not for cleaning stamps. We're going to give it a try because I figured that there's got to be something that will replace those ones. The next thing that you need, and this is one of the most important components of this project, you need an old credit card or an old gift card, anything that will work like that. You also would want something to work on as a base so that when you make your big mess you can clean it up. What I did then is I went through some of my inks. Oh, look how pretty, I'm so glittery. I went through my inks, and I found 3 that are going to match my project, and 3 that I don't really have colors of in my metallics so far. And I decided I would turn these into metallic inks. Metallics inks? I think I made that up. I made a little word up, metallic inks. Then I'm going to take one of these little tools, and I'm just going to decant one of these. We're going to start with Passion Flower. I think these are from Hero Arts, if I'm not mistaken. And then you're going to take a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of your mica powder. And now is where the credit card comes in. You're just going to kind of That's probably too much. You're just going to kind of work it into the surface. I do all the edges. And what I like to do is after I do it, I like to practice on something to make sure that it is metallic enough. I'll put a little bit more on. Oh look, I'm using my card for it. This card's working for everything. I like to kind of get in the sides. I don't know if you can see, but the top of this is very metallic in color. So that one we're going to assume is ready to go, and we're going to put the lid back on it so it doesn't get dry. And I'm going to put it upside down so that the ink and the mica kind of mix together. I'm going to wipe off my credit card. I think in projects like this you're supposed to go from light to dark, but if you clean your card I don't think it really matters. Next we're going to go to Cornflower Blue. I've got some weird chunk of something in my mic. I'm going to get that out of there. I don't know what it is. A little bit in there. I told you this was going to be a quick one. That's why we're doing the mulberry paper too. Okay. Good. Credit card. Now this one looks like it's going to need more. Oh, I'm just going to take that mica right off the table there. Why not? It's not being used, right? And then we're just going to put a little bit more on. I love how I've used those metallic inks that I made more than any other ink pads I have because they're just so shimmery and beautiful when you stamp them. I just love them. And then we get the sides again. I got some white mica just laying around. And then we're going to put the lid back on that one. I think those are both good. Then, wipe our card off again. Ooh, getting a little blue on things. Okay. A big chunk of blue on the back of that. Last one we're going to do, I do have a green, but this is a different color green, and when you see the project I'm going to do, you'll see that this really will match it much better than the green we already had. I don't know if you can see that shimmer on camera or not, but it really is a really pretty thing. I've never seen anybody just take existing little inks and do it with. I've seen them do it with creating their own, but I figured since I like it so much and I'm not using these little inks for anything else, at least now I'll be using them, you know. I'm not sure if you have situations like that or not, but I have a ton of these little inks and I never use them because they're not right at hand like my other ones are. Well, you've seen my setup. You know that my distress inks are right in front of me and my Stampin' Up! Inks are just to the right of me. Look how, wow, that's really awesome. Okay, so that is how you make metallic inks out of existing inks. It's easy and quick. And I'm going to shut the mica up because you know that's a catastrophe waiting to happen. And then I'm going to flip this over until I need it. I probably should try them out first, right? Let's stamp them on something to see how shimmery they actually are. Man, that knife had all kinds of stuff on it. Holy jeez. That's a mess. Okay, let's get a piece of paper. I'm going to my favorite spot for paper, my trash can. I'm going to take this out. Oh, that credit card doesn't work anymore, so in case you saw that number, it doesn't work. It's now defunct. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to practice stamping our inks and see how well they do. And I decided I would just take something I had close at hand, and I have these little stamps that are of, I don't know, leafy flowery things, we'll call them. Try our blue one first and see. I'm not going to do the stem because I really just want the leaves so you can see if they're shiny or not. Okay. Well, if I tilt it, you should be able to see the glitter on it. I can see the glitter. You see that? I think I'm going to add a little bit more to that one, though. I'm going to clean that stamp with my new cleaning cloth, seeing if it works. It does work. I just sprayed a little bit of a mixture I made up of a little bit, it's like, let's say 1/10 baby shampoo and some glycerin, maybe, I don't know, let's say a teaspoon or two of that, and then some distilled water, and I made my own stamp cleaner. And it works pretty good. Okay, the purple does look more glittery already. I'm going to probably have to put more in that blue. That happened when I made the green the last time. You could really see the glitter with the other ones. Now you can, I think, you can see the glitter in that. Well, you can see the glitter in the blue now too. Maybe it needs to dry a little. I can definitely see it in the purple. Can you see it in that angle? I can see it. Okay. I think actually they both look good. So let's go to our third one. I'll clean off my purple. That purple got everywhere. Down and into the stamp in every little orifice because the pearlized stuff is still on it. Like it's kind of like a paste on the top. So the stamp is harder to clean off because it's got stuff everywhere. Okay, going on to the green. Wow, you can really see it on this. Holy crap, is that pretty. Ready? I hope you'll be able to see this. Can you see that sparkle? I think all three of them are pretty sparkly. I'd say they're all about the same in sparkle. I like them all. Let's see if they match my project. Oh, that's going to be fabulous. Wait till you see this project. You're going to be amazed. Okay, I'm going to clean this stamp off, and then we'll go on to our mulberry paper. Now, mulberry paper, the easiest way to make it is the way I'm going to show you. And I'm sorry, whoever I saw make it on YouTube, I cannot remember. I'll put it in the comments if I can find it. But I saw a lady do this, and it was a long time ago. I don't even know if I really followed exactly how she did it, but I'm going to look for it and put it in the comments because the lady was really impressive. Okay, we'll get this out of the way, and we'll make our mulberry paper. We'll be back in a second. Okay, so our second project that's going to be our DIY is we're going to make mulberry paper. Now, mulberry paper is a really textured paper that usually has pieces of potpourri or something inside of it. And what we're going to start with is we're going to do half water and half glue. Couldn't get my lid off. And you're just going to mix them together. Mix them with, I'm going to get one of my 1,000,001 spoons that I bought. Then after you mix your two together, you could probably just use Mod Podge, but this is the recipe that I saw, so this is the one I'm going to do. And then you're going to put some paint into it. And I'm going to use some Folk Art Metallic. I don't see the name of it. Amethyst. Okay. I'm just going to put a few squirts of that in there. And this time, instead of using my spoon, I'm going to use my brush. And just make sure that it's consistently okay. Move all this stuff off here. Get rid of the spoon. Then we're going to take paper towels. That's what we're going to be making it out of. And you're going to cover your first paper towel. Underneath it, I have one of those placemats that I told you I bought at a garage sale that worked really good. I bought 6 of them for a quarter, and they're just perfect for projects like this because they're plastic and they soak up just about everything. This one all glued up. Then what you do is you take your potpourri, and what the lady I saw do is she took little, geez, I'm not even going to be able to rip this. These leaves are beating me. She took little pieces of leaf and she threw those around. Then she put, obviously the roses are going to be a lot easier to do than the leaves. Those leaves are buggers. Maybe that's the secret, you just have to crush them. I guess that is the secret. Then you take your other piece, lay it on top. And this is where we're just going to hope for the best and hope we have enough of our goo. I think I have too many things in here. I'm going to take some of them out. I don't want to ruin our project before we even get it off the ground. Okay. So then what you do is you let it dry, and then we'll come back to it, and when it's dry we'll hopefully have mulberry paper. So that's our project for now. Stay tuned. Okay, so I let my mulberry paper dry today, and actually it took about 24 hours to get really hard. I made the mistake of laying it over something that made it a little bit wonky, and this side is lighter and this side is darker because if you'll remember I had to make up a second batch of color and the second color was darker, and I'm okay with that because then if I want to do a project with a lighter color then I can just go to this side. But I really like the way it looks. I really like the dark side and the way all the leaves and the roses came through on it. I think it's really attractive. And when you compare it to other mulberry paper, I mean, this is a paper towel after all, and this is real mulberry paper. There's not a significant difference in it. And as I'm going to be using it as just a layer, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. It might, I doubt it though. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to be making a card, and the card is really going to be based around this ribbon. And a really neat sentiment that I found that is on vellum. It says, "Joy is a flower that blooms when you do," and I thought it was beautiful, and we're going to put that on our card. And then if I have time I might make a second card that says "Live the life you imagine," but for now we're going to be doing just actually we're going to be doing a card with a background with our new stamps, and then we're going to go from those colors. I picked these colors specifically based on our ribbon. If you'll recall the colors of the ribbon, boy, that mica is everywhere. I'm sure it's going to blind you over time. So what I thought I would do is I would take my cardstock and I thought what I would do is just do like certain colors in certain places with this so that there's not really one consistent color all over it. Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's, I mean I know it is, but it doesn't, whew, that green really shows up. I'm going to do a little bit more with the other two because I don't think, I'm not sure if I pushed hard enough with these ones, and I want to make sure I get all the colors on here really well. I want a good representation of all of my colors. And I don't think that I'm going to contaminate my inks by this little bit. It doesn't look like I've changed any of the color on them anyway. So then, I think I'm going to have to do further up on the stamp because I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to put it on here lengthwise, I think. You got to give the ink time to transfer. Probably should have used my brayer for this. I'm just going to put this on top of it. Hopefully it won't move. Okay. Now let's see how we did. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I didn't get those edges very well. I think I'm going to just lay those edges on another piece of it and just get them. That's pretty cool. And I think I'll also distress a little bit on the edge as well, maybe with this purple, because it matches our ribbon the most. So you see how cool that background is just by putting in the different colors on your stamp. I think it's just really pretty. Go across the top one more time. There. I'm going to do this a couple different ways. I'm going to try to cut the regular mulberry paper because I'm going to use it in my design as well. And I'm going to see if I can get it. Hopefully you'll be able to see at least part of this. I'm going to do this at a little over 5 1/4. Ooh, the piece came off. And let's see if it is that wide. So I'm going to make this card an A2 card, which is a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 inch card. And I'm going to layer layers of each of the papers on it so that you can kind of get a look at how the mulberry paper, the real mulberry paper, stacks up. Let's see, I want to make that about that big, I think. This one's harder to cut because it's got a lot more fiber in it. So now's the moment of truth. I think what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this with scissors because it's very, very rigid as compared to the real stuff. Because you have to consider I have a lot of flowers in there. So I'm just going to use my scissors and try and match it up. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm matching it up to the other piece of purple. Well, it cuts with scissors really easily. That's a nice thing. I probably could try it with my other tool. Again, I'm making it shorter than my underpiece because I want this to be my top layer. Hopefully it's a little bit straight. Okay. This is one of our layers, and I probably should have made this the middle layer, now that I think about it, because I won't be able to get the vellum to stick to that, I don't think. So I'm going to scrap that and make this our bottom piece. So I'll cut that smaller, and I need to make that bigger. Okay, so that's easy enough. This time we're going to see if it will cut on this. I don't know, it might. Or it's impossible to even get in there. Alright, let's see if we can get it in there. Okay, so I'm going to want this piece to be 5 1/2. I want that to be 5 1/4. Well, let's see. Oh, my word, it did cut through there. Lucky break. And then we're going to want this piece to be about 4. That piece I don't think we had good success with. Oh, it cracks. It's great. This is the greatest stuff ever. Now I just need to cut the top of this. This is all kind of, as you know, we're going to experiment. So this is a big experiment for us to find out if we can make our own mulberry paper, if it sticks, and if we can get the other papers to stick to it. These are all the dilemmas that we're going to be having. I'm going to layer on this piece of blue, then I'm going to layer on our homemade, then I'm going to layer on this little white piece on top. There's a lot of layers, I realize, but I picked out all these colors to match the ribbon, and I think it's going to look really pretty. All of these papers I bought, not the mulberry paper, but all of the other papers I bought at A.C. Moore, and they are handmade papers. Okay, I layered my first piece down. I wanted to make sure that it would line up well. And what I've used is a little bit of tape runner and some tacky glue to do that. Then we're going to put down our purple layer. And this is the one that I'm worried the most about because it is very, very bendy, we'll call it. And I'm going to put quite a bit of tacky glue. Because this is a paper towel, I really don't know what it will absorb at this point. So if it starts absorbing glue, I'm in a world of trouble. There we go. Just lay that on its side so that my glue doesn't... I know that's a lot of glue. I know you're going, oh geez, Sandy, that's too much glue. Yeah, I believe it probably is too much glue, but I really want to have this adhere and adhere well, and I don't know any other way to do it than to just douse it with glue. And what's really cool about it, because I've been playing so much with this glittery surface, my washi paper, or my mulberry paper, has taken on that color, and I'm thinking that's a great idea. Let's put a little bit on there and see what it does. I'm not saying a lot, I'm just going to put my finger in it and just kind of rub it over the surface a little bit. That's cool. And then later I think I'll just wipe it off with a baby wipe and get some of it off. But that's kind of nifty. I mean, I don't really have to wipe off the spots that have a lot on it, but I just wanted it to kind of have a glimmer. I didn't want it to be changing the color because my ribbon, as you know, matches this. Okay, so I think it looks pretty good so far. Now this piece is going to be our last piece before I think I'm going to put my vellum on it right now so that we know that it adheres. And my head might be in the way, I apologize. I think I need to trim this bottom edge, it's crooked looking. And I think I'm also going to run one of our colors around the outside of that with the purple again. It matches the thing under it. It matches the paper under it. I like to do this kind of carefully because I have a tendency to go over the edge and get a big spot of it that's not really attractive. So I do try to do this kind of slowly. I hope you can see now the purple on it. I think that looks better. I like the purple on it. I should maybe stamp something on that because it's so pretty. Let's do it. Let's get that little stamped image we had before, if I can figure out where I threw it. Leafy pattern. I'm going to put this underneath it so I don't stamp everywhere. Okay. And I'm only going to stamp the top of this because I'm only really trying to... This is the time we should be getting that Stamp-A-Majig out, huh? Yep, that's only what I want to do, is just do a little bit around the top with our, let's see if I can, not bad, but it kind of got some pieces in there that were not exactly the way I wanted them to show up. But I like it. Ooh! Almost got it all over. And there we go. Should I do the edge? No, I think it looks good. So I'm going to take that paper out. You can see how pretty it looks. And this one we're going to put on, we're going to pop up, because we're going to be putting our ribbon underneath it. Clean that stamp off, put it back. Okay. Now before I pop this up, I'm going to do my ribbon. And because yesterday I used the bow jig and had such success with it, I'm going to use it again today. Because as you know, we're making a bow jig, I think tomorrow. And this time I'm going to make a pretty big bow. I really could use my directions. Every time I do this, I forget exactly how to do it. I think you go under. I've never done it with ribbon this big. That's another experiment for us. I've never done it with a ribbon this big. Okay. I'm going to take this piece, pull it over the top, and then I'm going to turn these. Wait, I'm going to turn them this way because this is the back. This is the thing I always forget to do. If you fluff it and play with it while it's still in this condition, you can really turn it into a pretty bow. Don't you wonder why I haven't been doing this all along? I know I have been too. So our bow is ready. I know. You're amazed. I'm never going back to the old system. I probably am going back to the old system because it's way more fun when I screw it up every time. You always have to wonder what I'm thinking. How crazy could she be? Okay, the only pop dots I can find are these humongously big ones for the moment, so we're going to use them. I don't know why. Put them on the back of this. I got these. I don't even know where I got these, but when I got them, I didn't realize that they were double the size of a regular pop dot, I mean in height. And I couldn't understand what was going on with my card because my card was so huge, and then I realized my pop dots were gargantuanly tall. You'll see when I put this on, you'll say she's never going to mail that, but I don't think I'm going to anyway. I think I'm going to give it to a friend. But if I do mail it, I'll have to put it in a box because it's so tall. Well, it will be once I put this on here. And yes, I am going to be putting 9 of these on here because I want to make sure that I have a good spot for my ribbon. Okay, now that I've got that done, I'm going to turn it over and see exactly where my ribbon will fit. Probably this side more than the other side. Yeah, I think we're going to put it right there. Now don't look, ribbon people that worry about wasting ribbon, because I'm probably going to waste some ribbon here. I wasn't exactly sure of, you know, with the bow jig, exactly how much ribbon it would take. So I had to cut it out of my, or pull it out of my little purse thing. And it was already kind of, oh, I'm really hacking at it too. That down right there. Don't look. Don't look, ribbon people. Finish putting on my poppity dots. Most important thing when you're making a card is always check to make the inside opens the right way. That's key. Now I'm going to have to pull it toward me so I can make sure I center this. Okay, so here is our card. That is homemade mulberry paper and homemade metallic inks all around the back and all around the front in the green. And I hope you enjoyed today's DIY. Tomorrow, our big DIY day is a big day. We're going to be creating envelopes in a lot of different ways. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to do. I want to make an envelope for this, but that we'll do that tomorrow. Because of the height of the bow, I want to make the envelope tomorrow because it will require obviously a special envelope because it's so thick, and with the bow on it, we want to make sure the bow doesn't get destroyed. I hope you like this. I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends on social media about my channel. I so appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.